Hello, welcome to the SRV Network Online Support Portal tutorial. Today I'll be showing you a couple things and how to use this portal. To get started, an email is sent to you. You can either click the link or open Internet Explorer or whatever browser you're using to get to the website. And a quick note to make is that it is a secure site, so an HTTPS, that S has to be in there to get to it. Once you get there, if it's easiest, you can actually add it to your favorites, so it's easier to reference for the future. But for the time being, with the username and password that was provided to you, you may log in. And once you have your information there, if you click Remember Me, it'll just remember your password information, so it automatically logs you in every time. If you ever forget your password, you might type in your email address and click this link, and it'll be emailed to you. Of course, we can always change that for you as well. So once you hit Enter, you get into the website and you're taken to a welcome page. A couple different things going on over here. You see that there's a navigation bar over here with a couple different tabs that we'll go through each one of them. You see some information over here with who I am, information that I can get to. I can log out or I can create a ticket, which I'll show you in a little bit. Quick welcome page, just brief introduction and explanation how to quickly open up a ticket, as well as contact information if you have any questions on it. Going down here, you see any open tickets. You see open projects. Now, in regards to these two, this is everything for your company. It's not just something you would have made. You see stats regarding how many open tickets you have this month and this year, as well as a bar graph. I'm going to go ahead and start with the projects tab. And this is anything that we would have entered. It defaults to open. You can see closed ones. But this is kind of nice because you can see the description of the project, the status of it, and the status could be anything from delivery pending to schedule needed, in progress, or closed. But you'd have to see it in the closed tab over here. Who the company contact is, this would be anybody at your site or company, and who the SRV Network project manager is. We have an estimated start and an estimated end as well. Nothing really to open here, it's just more of a reference board. You see a list of projects there so you can see it at your own account. Recommendations isn't used yet. Eventually, someday we're going to make the scenario as if your servers run a little hot, needs new memory, PCs get a little aged. We might make a list here of recommendations saying you should probably do this and that, and you can see everything in one spot, which will be really nice. Knowledge base. This is just a way to search in all tickets by a keyword. So if I type in internet and hit enter, any service tickets in the past that have had that keyword in it, it'll pop that up. But we'll go through tickets in a little bit. Configurations. This is anything that SRV Network has purchased for your company or site in the past that has a warranty or subscription reoccurring expiration date tied to it. When you first get into it, it's just kind of everything. If you look over here at status, there's active and inactive. Active means that obviously the subscription or warranty is still valid. Inactive means that we're past that point. So if I wanted to filter through the demographics here, I can go ahead and pick something out. We'll say desktop. Active desktop, hit search, and if I click on it, because there are links over there, you can see some of the information on it. Now, a note to make here, this is kind of a record just tied from purchasing over to this database, so you won't be able to see like who the username is or anything of that nature. It's just basically what the model is, the serial, the purchase, and the end date. Now over to the bread and butter of this really quickly, the ticket and support portal. When you get to it, it defaults to everything that's open. You can see closed tickets up to 30 days on this particular board. At a quick glance, you see the name of the ticket or what was either in the subject of the email or what they wrote in. You can see what the body of the email was or what the technician wrote in and what the issue was at a quick glance. You can see the ticket number and the status. If you hover over them, you can actually click on them, and that would actually open the ticket. And you can see what's going on here. You can see the ticket number, again, the status. You can see what the issue is. In this case, this was an email with some information coming in. Down here in the resolution, you would see some notes from the technician. And what's really cool about this is that you can actually type something in. And if you hit enter, it'll actually propagate over into our ticketing portal. Now, a note to make on this really quickly is that that will not take until you hit update when you're done working in this ticket here. So for right now, it's just here. So if you wanted to put some information in there, and let's say that the status was new, or let's say the status was closed, I can actually click change status. So if it was completed or closed, I can actually change it back to new or acknowledged, right? And look at that. So that's how you use something like that. And when you were done, you would click update, and those changes would take. One last thing to note here is all the way at the bottom, documents. You can actually add documents here. So if I click add, and if I browse my computer, I can go ahead and choose out a document, and it'll go ahead and put it on there. What's cool about that is it's a nice resource to help us diagnose or work on what the issue is, that we're working on. So if you have a screenshot, a document, a bounce back email, so on and so forth, you can simply add those down there. So when I'd be done, I would click update, and that would update the ticket. I'm not going to do that because it'll confuse the guys. If you don't click update, you try to close the ticket, you'll actually get an error that says, your saves didn't take, so, click OK to bypass this, or cancel, go back, click update. I'm going to click OK. So that's how you render an existing ticket. Now to start a new ticket, there's always going to be this green button no matter what tab you're on as you're going through them. When I click create a ticket, a blank one will come up. At the very top, you can click, I go through some of these, and there'll be more and more of them as time goes on, and I'll explain that in a moment why. You can say I have an issue, or I have a question, or other, and that's just kind of nice because it just kind of lets us know when it comes into our side, and I can type in what the issue is. And down here, you just type in a little more descriptive of what's going on here. And it's very important that you be very descriptive here because it'll make it easier for us to, diagnose what the issue is. Again, I have the attached document option as a new ticket. I can browse on my computer and I can go ahead and add it, and it'll throw it down there. These two, PO number and due date, those aren't really used. So the contact information, I can manually type my information in there if I need to. And it already has some of my information, or if I wanted to, I could choose another user in my environment. So if I wanted to choose it for someone else, it'll automatically put his information in there, which is kind of cool. So when that's all done and I have it all set up, I can go ahead and click submit, and the ticket will be made. What's kind of cool about this too, one last note to make before I get out of this, is that you'll see a couple of these like new users set up, and this is the only one right now, but you'll see more as time goes on. When I click it, informations are automatically put down here, so it'll automatically give it a title so we know what it is, and it'll even ask you a couple questions that you can fill in. And that's just a way for us to gather all the information that we need so we can properly set up the user the first time. So you'll see more of these come in as time goes on, but for right now, that's the only one. So again, when I be done with all that, I'll click submit, and the ticket will be made. I'm not going to do that right now. Coming over my account, not everybody has the ability to do this. Usually the site contact company owner has the ability to do this, but if I go into users, I'll be able to see everybody in the company, and I can actually render some of their information, or I can disable them, or I can edit them. In some cases, you will only be able to see your own information, and that's kind of nice, so that you can, and it would basically look like this, where you can add, alternate email addresses, put your cell phone down for additional contact in case we need to get a hold of you, so on and so forth. And if any changes made, I'd hit save or save and close, and that would take care of it. It's nice for the site contact to be able to see everybody so that they can keep the company contact list up to date, be a little more proactive about it. Again, not everybody has this ability, but if you go to account and go to invoices, you can actually see your invoices for your company. This is just a reference table, so if I hover over the invoice number and I open it, it'll actually open up the invoice. No transactions happen on this site. This is just a reference point, so you can go back in time, grab an invoice, print it out, and whatnot. So it's kind of a nice deal. So if I go to my account again, it's the same thing I showed you as far as contacts go. That's where I can change my information. I can change my password actually as well. So if you want to make an easier password that you'll remember, go ahead and go for it. We can reset it at any time for you if you need it, or if you get in, you can obviously change it again. Or I can simply log out. So that is the SRV Network online tutorial. Thank you for taking the time to watch.